Chicago already dealing with a massive budget gap this year of almost $1 billion. And now Mayor Brandon Johnson is warning the problem is not going away next year or even the year after.
And he's putting together a working group to investigate that ongoing crisis. NBC5's Christian Farr has reaction.
Mayor Brandon Johnson received a round of applause after signing an executive order that will launch a working group charged with investigating the city's ongoing budget issues. Besides this year's budget deficit, the mayor's office says the city is facing a projected gap of $1.12 billion next year and $1.32 billion in 2027.
And largely due to the rising personnel, pension, and contractual costs that we have. At the same time, we face unprecedented threats from the...
I hate the way this guy talks. I'm sorry. I'm going to get back to the clip. I hate, and I'm not supposed to say hate, but I hate the way this guy talks. He tries to use so many big words and so many crazy phrases than just talking just in layman's terms, common sense. Like, bro, just tell us what it is. Tell us that you've been spending too much money on the migrants, but, you know, I'm sorry, continue. It just was irking my soul.
Costs, largely due to the rising personnel, pension, and contractual costs that we have. At the same time, we face unprecedented threats from the federal government.
Fiscal watchdog group called Center for Tax and Budget Accountability.
Now it's the federal government's fault? What?
Threats from the federal government.
Fiscal watchdog group called Center for Tax and Budget Accountability sees this as a solid move by the Johnson administration, stressing that the city's budget gap issues have been a problem that were created by more than one previous administration.
This is getting all the stakeholders at the table that really should be involved in trying to help inform the city resolve its long-term fiscal problems. You have the business community will be there, the labor community will be there.
The cuts are going to be deep. The impact on workers are going to be harsh.
Alderman Ray Lopez and others.
Wait, can I stop this for 1 second? Because this is my first time seeing this. It's an actual thought. Isn't it funny that this is kind of what Doge does? Isn't this what Doge is trying to do in the White House? But then they're mad when Brandon Johnson is trying to do it. They're not mad when Brandon Johnson's trying to find the waste so that he can stop being in a $1 billion plus deficit. Maybe he should hire Elon Musk and Doge. He'd probably find a whole lot in there. I'm sorry. Let's continue. I'm just blurting out because it's just, oh my goodness.
Other critics of the mayor say he should have put this working group together at the beginning of his administration. Alderman Lopez says the city has an ongoing spending problem right now that needs to be addressed in order to control the continuing deficit.
That's his own fiscal mismanagement on full display right now. And to say that you're going to bring some working group together when you've had aldermen try to tell you and sound the alarm for your entire tenure at this point only tells me that you're now just trying to cover your rear end because you know that you cannot hide and lie any longer.
According to the executive order, this working group should have a preliminary report completed by the end of August this year, and a final comprehensive report is due by May 2026.
All righty, so let's talk about the Mohawkian mayor. Mohawkian mayor. Oh, Brandon Johnson. I'm actually going into Chicago tomorrow, actually. So, Mohawk mayor, I'm sure there's some things that we could take a look at. And if I were to be on your working group, one of the first things I'm going to take a look at is I don't want to take a look at the taxes, right? Property taxes are high. We get that. We'll put that, you know, as one of the action items to take a look at. I want to take a look at the migrant spending. How much are we spending on the migrants? What services are we using for the migrants? And let's go ahead and cut that out right there. And expeditiously. And then let's do another analysis on how we would be looking in 2026 and 2027. See, what we're seeing here is Democrat-ran city going into the dump. Right? I mean, this city continues to keep hiring, you know, Democrat mayors. Lori Lightfoot, how did that go? Didn't sound like it went well at all. She's over, or she was over in Dalton, Illinois, trying to get Tiffany Henyard up out of there, investigating her. This is Democrat-ran city. They don't manage the money well. They just throw money around and they create band-aids for things, and all of a sudden they look up and say, oh my gosh, we're going to be in a deficit. And it's only going to get bigger because, yes, you have a spending problem. Yes, this is why it's so important to vote based on policies and what things are people going to do for you in your local community. The local politics are very, very important. Who your mayor is going to be, who his staff is going to be, how they're going to create a better, safer environment. What are they going to do for your schools? What are they going to do, when you're paying your taxes? Where is this stuff going to? Like, all of these things matter when you're going to elect these folks. Brandon Johnson, because he's a black man, shouldn't be the only requirement that you want to hire him, because now he doesn't know how to manage a budget. He wants to create big words. And we're going to go through everything that he said, and we're going to break this down in layman's terms. Everything he was talking about, contractual, this and that, all this crazy stuff that this guy talks about. Like, just talk common sense. So let's see where some of the money is going.
The rising
$1.32 billion in 2027.
and largely due to the rising personnel, pension, and contractual costs.
So personnel, pension. So personnel is the people that he's hired in the city, I'm guessing. So I don't know. You're going to look at city personnel, city departments. Then he's talking about contracts, right? Some of the contracts are going to probably get cut because maybe there's some contracts that we don't need in the city. So we need to figure out what's not needed and we need to cut that back, right?
Largely due to the rising personnel, pension.
And personnel pension. So I guess you're trying to figure out the pensions of the people that work for the city. You're going to look at that. You're going to see if that's wasteful.
And contractual costs that we have. At the same time, we face unprecedented threats from the federal government.
So he's trying to say unprecedented threats. So they're facing funding problems from the federal government if they don't comply, right? Because Donald Trump and his administration are asking you to comply with certain things if you want funding. So what he's trying to say is he's facing unprecedented threats. Unprecedented threats about what? Oh, about being a sanctuary city? Ha! That's your problem. That's your number one problem, Brandon Johnson. It's the fact that you're a sanctuary city. Have you heard your residents lately? Do you hear them standing up in the town halls and even going on Fox News and talking about how bad you are handling the migrant crisis? That's problem number one. Numero uno. Take care of that. Get rid of that. Stop spending money on that. The reason why you are being talked to is because they're trying to get rid of sanctuary cities in New York, Denver, Chicago, because not only are they unsafe for the residents that live there, but you should not be getting funding for illegal migrants. Okay? And if you haven't looked at the polling lately in the November election, most of us voted for deportations, and we want to make sure that we're not just funding migrants anymore. Like, we are done with that. So the threats that you're receiving, these aren't threats. These are what the administration wants people to comply with, and sanctuary cities is now one of them. So what he's telling you without telling you, Chicago, is that he wants to continue to keep spending money on the migrants. And for you guys that, would like the money to be spent elsewhere, and you guys would like him to stop raising your property taxes that he ran on, he's saying, no, I'm going to double down on the migrants that he loves, because these Democrats love these illegal migrants. You see him flying down to El Salvador, just reacted to a video of a New Mexico judge who was hiding a TDA gang member. So these Democrats have a fascination with, definitely, gang members that are migrants. He's letting you know, I'm doubling down on that. That's our agenda. I know someone in Chicago, I'm not going to speak on it too much, that cannot stand this guy anymore. Stays there, can't stand this guy. Voted for him, because thought he was going to be the right candidate and things like that. And now wants him out of there. Can't stand him. Right? And it's not my mayor, so I can't speak on everything, but I can see why you want this guy out. This guy does not seem to just have common sense. You know what I'm saying? Like he just tries to say the right thing, but he's not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? So let me know your guys' thoughts about Chicago facing a $1 billion deficit. Wow. $1 billion. And it's only getting worse. Sounds like you guys might need to hire a Republican. If it's been going this bad for this long, you guys need to change and maybe hire a Republican. Chicago turning red should really be a real thing. Find a candidate who really has good, comprehensive plan on how to just decrease the budget spending and decrease that deficit. You might need to go with them. But let me get off this thing. Appreciate y'all. Like I say after every video, this is chess, not checkers. I'm going to see y'all at work. Oops.
You are watching a master at work.
See you.